Hi, grade 11. I'm Inventi here. So, I want to help you out with your homework because I think we went a little bit too fast today in class. So, let's have a look here. On the screen, we have three equations, and the three equations come from the three questions that you are required to sketch. So, what I want to do is I just want to go through the steps of sketching so that you know exactly all the details from the equation. Remember the name or the format of the equation that we're doing is y is equal to ax plus p squared. Okay, so that's the shape of all three. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is decide what is the shape of this graph going to be. So if I look at the f of x, this 3 is positive. Therefore, I'm going to have a smiley face because it's a positive a. On the g of x, this is a negative 2, which means frowny face. And the h of x, it is positive 2, so it's a smiley face. Next up, I want to know what is my axis of symmetry. At which point is this graph going to fold in half, right? So for my axis of symmetry, I am going to use the equation. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to take what's inside each bracket and equal it to 0. So you're going to say x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals negative 1. Your axis of symmetry is on negative 1. Same thing for the second one. X minus 1 equals 0. So your x for the axis of symmetry is equal to positive 1. And on the third one, x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals negative 2. That's pretty simple. Now we're going to look at the axis, the turning point. So the turning point goes through the axis of symmetry. It normally consists of a coordinate with an x value and a y value. So each one of these is going to have an x and a y value. The x value is always going to be the same as the axis of symmetry. So here it's negative 1, 1, and negative 2. The y value, on the other hand, is going to be equal to q. So this is going to be q. But if we look at this equation, there's no q here. Normally, there would be something, or if there's something on the outside. So in all technicality, q is 0. So your turning point for all of them, the y values are going to be 0. This means that these graphs are turning on the x-axis, which later, or as you saw in class, you're going to see now again, it only has one x-intercept. Let's do intercepts quickly. Okay, so when we're going to do the intercepts, we are going to substitute for the value. For the y-intercept, x equals 0. For the x-intercept, y equals 0. You remember this from grade 9, grade 10. So what are you going to say? The equation here says y is equal to 3 bracket x plus 1 squared. Now we're saying x is 0. So y is equal to 3 bracket, and let's make that x a nice blue 0. 0 plus 1 squared. So y is equal to 3. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 squared, which is 3 times 1, which is 3. So our y-intercept here is going to be, when x is 0, because we said x is 0, and y is going to be 3. So you use the original equation from the top, and for the y-intercept, you say x equals 0. For the x-intercept, you do the same thing, use the original equation, but now you're going to say y is 0. So let's use orange for that. I'm going to say, okay, y is equal to 3 bracket x plus 1 squared, right? Now we are saying y is 0. There's my y. So 0 is equal to 3 x plus 1 squared. Then what do? Divide by 3 on both sides. I can cancel that. So 0 is equal to x plus 1 squared. And okay, let's fix that. X plus 1 squared. And what we want to do is we want to solve for x, right? So this gives me two brackets. The first bracket is going to be x plus 1 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0, meaning there's only one intercept, right? And therefore x equals -1. Notice that this -1 here is the same -1 as that one there. So your turning point ends up being your x-intercept as well. So what is our x-intercept? In our x-intercept, it's -1 for x and y is 0. Let's do the next one. Our equation here says y equals -2x minus 1 squared. Okay, so we want x is 0 over there. So that becomes y equals -2, 0 minus 1 squared, which is y equals -2 times -1 squared, which is -2 times 1, which is -2. So your y-intercept over here is going to be x is 0 and y is -2. Y-intercept on the third one, we're going to say y is equal to 2 bracket x plus 2 squared. Y is equal to 2 bracket 0 plus 2 squared. So y is equal to 2 times 2 squared, which is equal to 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. So over here, your intercept is going to be x is 0 and y is 8. Now, if we look at the next one, where we're going to do the x-intercepts, we're going to say y is equal to -2 x minus 1 squared. In this one, y is 0. So we are going to say 0 equals -2 x minus 1 squared. Divide by 2 both sides, so we cancel that. And then we get two brackets. We're going to say x equals 1 or x equals 1. Okay, let me do it properly. Okay, so we're going to say x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1. And x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1. Again, this one and that one is the same one. So here your coordinate is 1, 0. Again, on the right hand side, y is equal to 2x plus 2 squared. So that gives me 0 equals 2x plus 2 squared. X plus 2 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. X equals -2. And that -2 and that -2 is the same. So the coordinate here is -2, 0. If we attempted to sketch these, all right, so let's say these are Cartesian, and we've got our, I'm sorry that I now, let's see if we can get grid paper. Okay, yeah, I got some grid paper. So now first one, now we want to plot the points. So let's do our first one in, okay, let's go green for the f of x. Okay, f of x is green. We know our axis of symmetry is x equals -1, which is going to be here. So this, in all probability, will be our axis of symmetry, which we don't have to draw, but I'm just putting it in there. Our turning point is -1, 0. So this here is your turning point. Then we are going to put our y-intercept at 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Careful, a little bit more to the right. Okay, let's undo that. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Oops, I didn't want to take the line away, but okay, let's try and do that. Okay, that's better. So we said -1. Hard to be accurate here. 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there. Now remember, I told you that based on the fact that this is a axis of symmetry, it's 1 to the right and 1 to the left, which means that the symmetrical point over here is going to be there. In other words, if I try and join these dots, I will look at something like this on both sides. I hope that makes sense. Let's do the second one. So on the second one, let's do the second one in pink. Okay, the g of x. So the g of x, our axis of symmetry is going to be x is minus 1. Oh, x is positive 1. Okay, so let's go here. This is pretty much going to be our axis of symmetry. We know that our turning point is going to be here. And we know that our y-intercept is going to be, so remember the turning point and the x-intercept are the same. So I didn't do it on the other side because it's the same point. Y-intercept is 0 minus 2. So 0 minus 2 minus 1 minus 2, so it's that one. So now symmetrical, one hop here means one hop there. So my symmetrical point is going to be there. So if I sketch this, it's going to look like this. That way and that way, with my axis of symmetry being somewhere in the middle. Our third sketch is going to look like this, where we are going to have, let's do this one in blue, I guess. Okay, so this one is going to be the h of x, and we are going to say axis of symmetry is x is negative 2. So negative 2 is pretty much here. That's going to be our axis of symmetry. Next thing we need to know is our turning point. We know it is at 0. So that's going to be our turning point. And our y-intercept is at 8. So on this axis, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is going to be my y-intercept. Now, my axis of symmetry is over here. I am going to count to the axis of symmetry is 2 hops. So away from the axis of symmetry is 2 hops. So my symmetrical point is going to be over there. So when I sketch this, let's see if we can do this properly. I am going to connect these. And I'm going to connect these and try to make a loop at the bottom. So those are the 3 sketches that I got. So what we learned today was the information you need to sketch the graph is the shape, the axis of symmetry, the turning point, y-intercept, and x-intercept. Then you plot your points. Okay, I hope this helped you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.